In this video, we're going to take a look at the Quad Draw tool. This tool allows us to draw quad geometry on top of other surfaces or by itself. Ultimately, this is a really great tool to retopologize a surface. So for instance, here we'll take a look. We have a character's hand that perhaps we have scanned data where the geometry is just a wreck and we can't really use it for anything. Or we've already modeled it or somebody else modeled it and we want to redo the geometry. The Quad Draw tool allows us to do this really quickly and effectively. I'm going to open the modeling toolkit and we can see Quad Draw is located down here at the bottom. And we'll choose this tool and we'll go to our surface here. And if I start to click, I generate dots. From these dots, I can complete a polygon. But currently, as we roll over here, we can see that those dots are on the grid plane. What we want is those dots to be on the surface of the hand that we have out here. So I'm going to choose Clear Dots and select the surface, and we'll just go to Object Mode. And we want to make this surface a live surface. To do that, I'm going to hit the magnet with the object selected, and that will then tell me, hey, you have hand selected. It is now a live surface. And if I switch over to wireframe here real quick, you'll see that live surface is represented in green. We'll go back to shaded, and now I'll choose Quad Draw, and I'll draw those dots again. Now those dots are on the surface, and if I hold Shift, it'll complete that into a quad. So now this is just a pre-selection, but if I hold Shift and then left click, it'll generate the geometry. I can then draw more dots, hold Shift, and click. Now we can draw multiple dots as well and create multiple quads here all at once. We don't have to do them all individually. So if I have a bunch of them there, again, I can just hold Shift, click, and drag. That went a little stray on us. As I look, I can see this one popped over here. That's not really where I want it. While I'm still in Quad Draw, I can middle mouse on the point and just drag that over. Then we can left click for another dot, hold Shift, and drop another quad in. Now what we can also do is extend the surface. And when we do an extension, it will still conform to my live surface. To do that extend, we're going to choose the Tab key, and then it will switch into that extension mode. Now currently, it's only going to extend a single edge. That's not really what I want. I want it to extend the entire border edge that I see over here, or that complete loop. By holding Control and Shift, and then right mouse clicking, I'll get to the Quad Draw marking menu. And here we can see we have Extend Edge, Extend Loop, or Extend Border. Again, we got to this by doing Control and Shift and the right mouse button. I'm going to choose Extend Loop, and now I'll hit Tab, and now we get the full green line on that surface. And let's just angle this a little bit better, and I'll choose Tab, left click, and drag that geometry out. And we can just extend that all the way down. Now, if those points are a little messy, we can see right here, didn't quite go exactly how we wanted it to, just middle mouse and drag. We can middle mouse and drag not only on the vertices, but also on the face or the edge, and shift those around. No matter what, it will adhere to our live surface. Now, another really great feature of this is that we really don't need to modify those interior faces all that much. We can just move the outside or border edge points, then go back and use the Relax brush to smooth the geometry out. To access the brush, we simply hold Shift and left click. And currently it's set up to only affect the interior faces. We can change that by going back to the Quad Draw marking menu. Hold Control and Shift, right mouse click, and we have our Relax features here. Interior, Border Vertices, or All. I'm going to switch to Border Vertices, hold Shift, and just relax those borders. Notice it has no effect on anything that's happening on the interior there. And when we relax those vertices, we're actually forcing the geometry there to be more evenly spaced. Now, Control Shift, and we'll switch back to Interior. And I'll relax all of that surface there. And I start to get really nice looking, even flowing geometry. Now, at some point, we might make some mistakes and we might say, let's delete the geometry here. To do so, hold Control and Shift, and you'll get a pre-selection here, and we can delete a face or an edge loop. And just click on it, and that will go away. We can also add geometry through our Quad Draw by simply holding Control and left click, and that will add an edge loop. And again, notice that it conforms to the geometry. That particular one that we added back doesn't look so good, but I'll just hit Shift and relax it. And then we can go back and continue. We can either add dots and complete the geometry, or we can extend the loops by holding Tab and pulling the geometry out further. By doing this, we can create or rapidly retopologize a surface. We can also turn on the Soft Select feature by pressing B. Now, our Soft Select region is really large, but if I hold B and drag to the left or to the right, we can scale the size of the Soft Select region. I think we're a little too large there, so I'm going to go over into my channel box area where I have my modeling toolkit, and we'll click on Soft Select. And we get that fall off radius there. We can see that it's set to volume. I'm going to choose surface instead, and let's drop that way down. That's really large, so I was probably adjusting it. We just couldn't see it be adjusted because it's so large based upon the size of our model. Let's drop that down to 0.1. There we go. So now I can see pretty big difference in there. And if I hit B, now we can scroll left to right and expand that fall off radius, or at least now we can see it. And let's just bring that up a little bit. And I can hold Shift and relax, and Soft Select will also be engaged there. And if we go and try to move a vert or a face or an edge, Soft Select will pull the other vertices that fall within that region along with it. So we'll scale that down. And now if I move that, we're just grabbing the edges there. To turn Soft Select off, we can just hit B again and go back to normal.